Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our regularly scheduled program. We're back on a regular type of videos. This week it's been a little bit. I've been wanting to do this, but I wanted to cook ramen last week, so we're back into this. So today I want to talk about the persecuted, those who are being martyred for the faith in Christ, and just read Bible verses that just go along with them and how us Christians should respond to that. And also just remembering them and just praying for them just in general as well and helping out when we can. So we're going to go ahead. Our first verse for this is going to be Matthew chapter 5, verses 10 through 12. And I am doing it through the Student Study Bible, ESV. Alright. And I quote, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Yeah. Pretty much just like, those who are being persecuted, they're going to have great gifts in heaven. And, and people who, go against you, revile you, say all type of lies about you, you guys know I don't really need to spread any more context. I thought I could, but I don't really think I can. The only thing that I can really say is, when it says, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Obviously, they have persecuted, Paul, they persecuted Jesus, they persecuted the, 11 disciples. So that's pretty much the only thing that I really want to add, but I thought I could maybe add something more, but obviously I couldn't. The next one that we're going to be looking at is 2 Timothy verses... No, wait, I'm sorry. We're going to be looking at 2 Tim... I can't read our words today. Alright. 2 Timothy... Which is that? 16:19. 16:19. Alright, just put you over there. Alright, chapter 3, verse 12. There it is. And I quote, "Indeed, all who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted." Obviously, if you're living your life out, for God and doing God's will, there is a pretty high, or maybe even a lower, or even like a low chance that you will be persecuted, depending, where you live at, what area that you're gonna be at. But either way, you're probably gonna get scrutinized, you're gonna be cussed at, you're gonna be, evil will come at you, people will, make up lies about you, either that or will send you into like a dungeon and torture you and persecute you type of thing. Yeah. Alright, moving on to John chapter 15, verse 20. Let's see. John 13:93. Okay. And it was chapter 15, verse 20. Okay. And I quote, "Remember the word that I said to you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecute me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours." Obviously, this is talk about, because of the persecution of Jesus, that they will really just persecute anybody who, stands up and, spreads the gospel. Alright. Next up is Romans chapter 8. $14.91. And that was chapter 8, verse 35. And I quote, "Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? So tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword." Obviously, it doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you're being persecuted, whether you're doing the evil yourself. We are never too far from the love of Christ. So yeah. Alright, next up is... Sorry, my phone keeps on turning off and I got the Bible verses on my phone, so just bear with me. Next up is Romans chapter 12, verse 14. And I quote, "Bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse them." Obviously, we should pray, the people who are persecuting you, us as Christians, we shouldn't just pray for those who are being persecuted more. We should also pray for those who are persecuting them, that they may be saved and turn around their life for Christ, so that way they, they can change their life around and do not evil anymore. For example, Paul, who used to be Saul, he persecuted Christians, killed women, killed children, and Jesus revealed himself to him, and he completely changed his life around, and then he became probably one of my favorite disciples to ever live. And yeah. Alright. The next verse is 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Second Corinthians 15:39. Okay. And then chapter 4, verses 8 through 9. And I quote, "We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed, perplexed, but not driven to despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, struck down, but not destroyed." Obviously, this is talk about people who are being persecuted, when they have faith in Christ, and when they have the full faith in Christ, they are not forgotten. They are remembered by Jesus Christ, and they are remembered by people who are willing to give their life to Christ, people who are disciples, to also remember those who are being persecuted, to pray for them, so that way they are not forgotten. Kind of like how we don't forget about Paul, we don't forget about Peter, we don't forget about John the Baptist, we definitely don't forget about Jesus, because they have sacrificed their lives for the gospel, they have sacrificed their lives for Christ. So, yeah, and I kind of feel like, there's definitely still persecution happening around the world. There's a ton of persecution happening in the world. I mean, we're seeing it in Israel, we see it in Iran, we see it in Hamas, we see it in Iraq. I mean, even here in America, definitely not as bad as these foreign countries, but we have seen, especially with the with like people just targeting Christians just in general, calling Christians Nazis, calling Christians, phobic and all this other stuff. When in reality, we're just trying to save people from burning in hell. So, yeah, and it's very clear that the enemy is working hard. The devil is definitely working hard to deceive each and every single one of us. We are seeing it greatly in America, clear as day. We're seeing it in foreign countries in Africa, and there's a lot of foreign countries just in general of how much they actually go out their way just to kill Christians, tear down their church, torture people, and do a lot of horrendous things to them just because of their faith in Jesus. Even says in the Bible that because the world hated Jesus, it will also hate, us, people who put their faith in Christ. And it's obvious that those people, they need help, and they need to, have a more open mind, each and every single one of us needs help. Each and every single one of us are sinners and in desperate need of help, which is why we need Jesus Christ, so that way we can be saved through his blood. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say today. Thank you all for watching. God bless you all. See you all next week.